Hello everyone, welcome back to more Turing Machine. I thought we would try one with 6 verifiers this time. As always, you're welcome to play along at home. This is the code to use at turingmachine.info, and you should be able to just copy that out of the video description as well. And I'm gonna try. I don't know how well you guys can actually see all the verifiers at once. Like, if you want to try and puzzle it out, I don't know. If you aren't loading the actual verifiers yourself or setting up the cardboard game, you could do some things without looking. But okay, I'm going to at least flash all these on screen before I tell you to go do it yourself. So we compare yellow to purple. We can we can check whether there's a number present exactly twice. Sum of all numbers compared to 6. Ascending or descending sequence. Okay. One of the colors less than 3. And then this one comparing 2 colors to each other, which we had last game. So now you've seen all of the verifiers, and if you're going to not play along, but you still want to make some deductions before seeing anything, I guess you could pause and do that. Or if you're going to go play along, you can pause and do that. If you're still here, I'm assuming you want to watch me solve the puzzle, either because you're not doing it yourself or you're done. Let's see. Well, first of all, we can look at A and F in relation to each other and say that F can't be telling us anything about yellow compared to purple. Because if it were, we wouldn't be learning anything from A. So I'm going to take notes on F using the kind of square grid system that I used for the other time I had 9 possibilities. And we can say, yeah, this can't be anything in the right column. Because again, that would make this be superfluous, and there are never allowed to be superfluous verifiers. You always have to use the criteria from all 6 of them to get the answer. That doesn't mean you have to ask questions of all of them, but it is the case that if you removed one criterion, then you wouldn't have a unique answer anymore. And if this showed us how yellow compared to purple, we could remove this one and still have a unique answer. So that's impossible. Oh, a pair, huh? Well, if this said 2 things are equal to each other, that would be a pair. But it could also be a triple, right? So knowing one of these is equal to something doesn't tell us that there's a pair. So that wouldn't create a superfluosity. We know one of the numbers is less than 3. If we had a sequence of 3 in descending order, or ascending, would that somehow make this superfluous? I don't think so. Like, well, no, because they could just be 3, 4, well, no, they couldn't. Right. If we turn this face down and assume there's a sequence of 3 increasing, they could be 3, 4, 5. This is what tells us that's not possible. And so it's still not superfluous. see, numbers of no sequence of numbers ascending or descending. So right. I was thinking maybe we could say they. I mean, if there is a sequence, then it can't add up to less than 6, but it could just barely add up to 6, right? I think. Yeah. So, I don't think we can make anything superfluous there. Pairs. Well, yeah, I think if there were a pair, that still wouldn't be introducing superfluosity with all the other comparisons, right? Like, if I knew there were exactly 2 numbers that were the same, then one of these, like, let's say, for example, that we found that, like, blue and yellow were the same. Then, or, well, if blue and yellow were a pair, we wouldn't necessarily found that, but suppose we could somehow, that were true, and we knew there was a pair. If this would then have to tell us that yellow is different from purple. It would be one of these two. But it still wouldn't be superfluous. We would know it didn't say this. It would tell us one of these two. And the same over here. One of these two, we would either see... I forget, I said blue equal yellow? We would see this, or we'd see blue is different from purple, and that's still possible as well. So I think I'm not smart enough to find any more deductions without asking questions. The things I want most to ask questions about are F for sure, because there are still 6 possibilities there to narrow down. But then all the others pretty much have 3 possibilities, except this one. So I'd like to avoid B and target F. What else? I don't know. It might be nice to know about a sequence, I guess. Or to confirm the sum is more than 6, which it usually is. Yeah. So, okay. The annoying thing is, eliminating this whole column doesn't really reduce the number of questions we're going to have to ask here very much. Well, I guess it kind of does. Whatever we ask, it's going to eliminate 2 or 4 entries, depending on how lucky we are. We'll either get a check and we'll know it's one of the 2. Whatever question we ask, it'll be targeting one thing in each column. And so either we'll get a check, meaning yes, it's either the thing in this column you targeted or the thing in this column you targeted, or a no, in which case it's one of the other 2. So it doesn't really matter, as far as F is concerned, what we submit. For E, which I guess I may as well target, I just want to make sure I have one number less than 3 or 2 numbers less than 3. I don't want them all less than 3. And let's, I guess, aim at this as well. A? I don't know. So pretty much it doesn't matter very much what I ask. 2, 4, 2, 5, 4. That should be fine, right? Only one of them is less than 3. I'll target something in here. And I'll target something here, I guess. Sure. So let's write that down. 254 is my first guess. And it wants to target F. We got an X, which tells us, oops. Well, right. It doesn't care that blue is less than yellow, which is the top of column 1, I think? Yes. And it doesn't care that blue is less than purple, which is the top of column 2? Yes. And that's all I got out of that. I still wanted to ask E. Let's do that. So blue is not the one that it cares about being less than 3. That was E, right? So let's just note that under E, blue not less than 3. Now again, as I talked about in the last video, this doesn't mean that we can conclude that blue can't be 1 or 2 in the final code. It just means that's not the criterion this card is looking at. Maybe in the final code, there are 2 things less than 3, and blue is one of them, and the verifier cares about the other one. So we can't rule out any specific numbers, but we can rule out that this part of the card is the relevant part. And I think I wanted to test A next. Sure. Yes. Oh, that's good. We like yeses. So A says yes to this, which means that it cares that yellow is greater than purple. So let's just write that bad boy in. Yellow, purple. Cool. And I guess we can say yellow can't be 1, purple can't be 5. Well, that's nice. It also means it's rather unlikely that, where is it? That this one is checking for yellow less than 3. Because if so, we would know yellow, like that would tell us like a lot, right? It would tell us that yellow is less than 3, which means it's 1 or 2, but it's more than purple, strictly more. So it would have to be 2, and purple would have to be 1. And what else do we know about the relationship between... Some comparison between blue... Blue is greater than or equal to something. Well, okay, fine. That's not too constricting. I was hoping I might be able to say that, oh, if we see that yellow is less than 3, then something has become redundant. Well, blue equals purple would be impossible. And so would blue equal yellow. Because then this card and this card and this card and this card would uniquely... No, hang on. Ah! Here, I think, is the point. I can tell that yellow and purple are different. Because they're different, it can't be the case that I'm being told that either of them is equal to blue. Because if that were the case, I would know there's exactly a pair. Blue and whatever number it's equal to, right? Before, an equality between those would have been fine because we could have had all three numbers be the same, which isn't a pair. But now that I know yellow and purple are different, if two other numbers are the same, or if any pair of numbers is the same, which obviously would have to include blue, then this B would be redundant. So we can actually look at F and erase these two. Blue can't be equal to yellow or purple. And we're already down to only two possibilities for F, which is nice. We're being told that blue is greater than something. Well, Now I wonder if I made a mistake asking E what the deal is with blue. If I had happened to ask A before E, I probably could have avoided asking E anything. But, okay, fine. I think I also could have learned something more useful from E, and then maybe I wouldn't have needed to ask A. I don't know. All right, so that's my first round. Not bad. Anything else happening here? Can I tell about ascending or descending sequences? Now, I claimed these two can't be equal to each other. Well, I claimed that F can't say they're equal. Could they just happen to be equal? No. Yes? Hang on. I guess maybe yes, right? Like if we had... If the criteria were like blue is greater than purple, but it also happened to be true that blue is equal to yellow, I don't think that would necessarily be a problem. So I don't think we can conclude that blue is unique, that all three digits are unique. Because blue could be equal to one of the other two, as long as this criteria were telling us something else. Telling us how blue compares. Well, if blue equals one of them, then it would have to tell us how blue compares to the other one, I guess, right? Like if blue were yellow, equal to yellow, it would have to be telling us how blue compared, that blue is greater than purple. So, I mean, I guess one thing we can say is that blue is largest or tied for largest? No. Because it could well be that, like, blue is larger than purple, but also yellow is greater than purple. That's fine. And then yellow could be greater than blue. Okay, I mean, I'm not thrilled with this. But I am happy with how much of D we managed to narrow down. So let's target E and D. Do I really have to target C? I don't want to. I like to try and let this one just fall out because it's difficult to not be greater than 6. But, I mean, from what I can see here, it certainly looks possible that it could be less than 6, right? All we're going to know, the only, like, strict constraint we'll have on numbers is that, well, I guess if we find out there's an ascending sequence of 3 numbers, then we'll know that it can't be less than 6. It'll have to be at least 6. But, like, that's not that likely that we'll find that out, right? Ascending or descending, right? So I think I want to target D just to aim for no sequence. Or maybe aim for a sequence of length 1, because length 2 is so unlikely we could conclude it's probably no sequence. So maybe I should leave F alone and hope it just falls out somehow. So target E and D. And B? So B, no matter what we do, we're going to get all the information out of it. D, I want to make sure I'm aiming at the middle one. And E, we just have to pick something other than blue to be less than... less than 3. So we could do like that, for example. No, that's no good. Well, that is fine, I think. Because the only one of these less than that this guy could care about being less than 3 is yellow. Blue is also less than 3, but we know that's not what it's looking at, so that won't be relevant. So I could do that. Aim for a sequence in ascending or descending order. And then ask B. Sure. Okay. So let's write that down as my next guess. 2, 2, 3. And start by asking E what it thinks about this. No. So with both blue and yellow less than 3, it's still unhappy. It wants purple to be less than 3, so we can definitely write that in. I'm going to also delete this one so I don't get confused and think that blue can't be less than 3. So all that tells us, really, is that we can't have either of these. But okay, that's useful. It's also, like, kind of restraining how purple can be compared to blue, I guess. It's quite difficult for purple to be greater than blue, for example. What are the 2 things I have left for here? Okay, we already know this cares about blue being greater than one of the numbers. Okay, fine. I wanted to check in with B here. It says, yes, there is a pair. That's very powerful, is it not? Oh, whoops. I'm Didn't draw a straight line there. Silly me. Get out of here. So we can then write in under B that there is a pair. That's cool. Well, wait a minute. There's a pair? Really? Uh-oh. No, hang on. So... that seems really impactful somehow, right? Because over here, I already believe that I guess I should double check the deduction I used to cross these two out. Because I thought if either of those was what it was checking for, compared with the fact that yellow is greater than purple, then I would know there's a pair. Because two of them are equal and one is different. Yeah, that's true. So this isn't... The criterion of this thing isn't telling me that the two of them are equal, but two of them are equal. So blue is either equal to yellow or equal to purple. But we also know blue is either greater than yellow or greater than purple. Because that's the only criterion left for this card to check, right? So if blue were equal to purple, it would have to be greater than yellow, but that's impossible because yellow is greater than purple. So I think we can say a lot about this. Blue has to be equal to yellow and greater than purple. Wow, okay. So this is telling me blue greater than P. I don't know why this time I'm writing it out shorthand. Blue greater than purple. And so therefore, this is saying purple is not the same as either of the other numbers. So blue equals yellow. Okay, well, I can cross that out then. Okay. Did I find anything out about sequences? I didn't. Okay. But we solved A, B, E, and F. We just have C and D left. Do I need to ask them any questions? Probably. But let's see. Well, it can I guess it could be the case that they summed to less than 6. Right? Because we could have 2, 2, 1, which satisfies all the constraints we know about so far. And we could confirm that by checking this, I guess, whether there's a sequence. But we can't have the sum be exactly 6. Because to do that with blue and yellow the same would require, well, they can't both be 3 because then the sum would be at least 7. And if they were both 2, then sure, purple could be 2 and that would be 6. But we know purple is smaller than both of these. So we can say, I guess, at least that sum not equals 6. How do you like that? Using Haskell notation instead of C notation. Take that. And Lisp, right? Common Lisp used a notation like this, I think. Is that true? I think so. It's been a long time. I know like Clojure and Scheme just use not equal. They write NOT equal sign. Or anyway, Clojure does. Does Scheme? I think so. I don't know. I didn't ever use Scheme very much. And it's not like I'm going to go look on the internet and copy the not equal character. Give me a break. Okay. Now, could the sum be more than 6? Sure. And I think whether the sum is less than 6 or more than 6, I could find a unique solution, right? If the sum is less than 6, then we have to have 2, 2, 1. That's easy. If the sum is more than 6, then well, there won't be a unique solution, will there? Because the only thing that really makes a difference to me is sequenceness, which would be like 2, 1 or 1, 2. And for more than 6, it would have to be like, 3, 2. So if it were more than 6 and there were a sequence, I could have a unique solution 3, 3, 2. But if there were more than 6 and no sequence, it would be impossible to solve because I wouldn't know if it's 4, 4 something or 5, 5 something or even 3, 3, 1. So more than 6 and no sequence is unsolvable. Less than 6 no sequence is impossible. So doesn't that mean if there's no sequence, then either no answer is possible or no unique answer exists? So there like has to be a sequence, right? And then if there is a sequence, I have to know whether the sum is more or less than 6 to finish solving. Okay, so I have to query C to find the answer. And I still have a query left to do that with. Yes, there is a sequence. No, the sum is more than 6. Okay. So now I think it has to be the case that there is a sequence, right? I already thought that. But now it's the last thing to do before I submit an answer. So yellow and blue are the same, and they're both greater than purple. And since the sum is more than 6, that means they can't be 2. That would force 2, 2, 1, which is not more than 6. So get that out of here. And now, the only way to uniquely solve the problem is to assert that there is a sequence, which could only be 3, 3, 2. Otherwise, 3, 3, 1, 4, 4, 2, 4, 4, 1, 5, 5, 2, 5, 5, 1 are all possible. There's way too many answers. So there must be a sequence. So I think the answer is 3, 3, 2. Let's confirm that this matches with all of the deductions we have. Is yellow more than purple? Yes. Is there a single pair? Yes. Is the sum greater than 6? Yes. Is there a sequence of length 2, either ascending or descending? Yes. 3, 2. Is purple less than 3? Yes. Is blue greater than purple? Yes. I could go double check all 6 of these deductions, but I don't want to. Or all of these deductions based on these 6 queries. So I'm just going to submit 332. I think this is right. How do I do that? Submit. Let's make sure this is the right game. I always, yeah, I mean, it's not easy to read in there. How about there? 25, 26, 46. Yes, this is the right one. Test a code. I said 332. That's the correct code. Great. So how did we do compared to the machine? Round 1, we got yes, and then a no, no, distant from each other. Round 2, we got yes, yes, no on BCE. Oh, much faster than the machine. The machine took 3 rounds and 9 questions. Okay, I'm happy. That's pretty cool. I don't know. I just love these little meta puzzles where you can... I'm sure, you know, as a new player, I'm missing a bunch of them. But where you can... What happened... I don't know. I loved what happened with F. That was my favorite part, right? When I found out there was a pair, that was so huge because it resolved F and told me even more stuff. I didn't expect there to be a pair. Anyway, as always, you know, let me know in the comments either how you did or what you think I missed or did wrong and just got lucky. I hope not. Yeah, that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.